Good morning! It's a beautiful day, Mzansi. Remember, we are the people, we are the passion, and moreover, we are the Game Changers. Welcome to the Game Changers podcast. I'm your host, Mohabim Gereta, probably known as the Prof. I'm not alone, I'm with my co-host, and here they are. It's 2023, guys. Fifi, how have you been, man?
I've been good. Hello, Game Changers. It's Fifi, the lady in the house, boss lady, and we are with our new guest here. He's gonna introduce himself later on. Madly.
Hello, baby.
What's along?
Oh, sharp.
I saw the baby got to. Come on, lay some track.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Happy New Year, guys. Happy New Year, Game Changers. The new year is rolling, man. Yeah.
Hey, good video. You were partying over the festive. Yo,
Yeah.
new guy.
Hey, man.
Personal branding, you have rebranded.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's about change, man. You know.
Yeah.
We cannot celebrate the way we used to, or the way we think we should, man.
Yeah,
that's the
evolution.
thing, man. It's an evolution.
Yeah.
We change. Yeah, that is that.
Yeah, I know Fifi said there's our guest. No, guys, this is not our guests.
No way.
This is not our guest, right?
Sorry about that.
This is a new member of the GC podcast. Brian, bonjour. What's up, man? Brian, oba jwetso go kwena mang.
Ke nna tshogoffatso sefane ke sekete nickname ke fofo
Oh, the fofoza.
Foza.
Papa.
O kena ka fofo.
ke na thuto le gore comprehensive school
Yes.
Njaya.
Chelsea.
O tsama megaleng ya rona. I'm telling you guys. This is a new guy start to do
That Chelsea.
Product.
That Chelsea.
Too much.
Yeah.
But guys, like honestly, for me, and I know most of the times I was with you, new guy. It was exceptional over the festive, and yeah, we enjoyed like too much. We enjoyed, and I hope the Game Changers also enjoyed. I think we needed a little bit of a breather just to refresh ourselves so that we can be able to embark ka matla le energy coming into new 2023. This is a new year, guys. The year's begun, and normally we tend to make some adjustments and have some resolutions as individuals so that we can be able to plan ahead in terms of our schedules on what we want, the goals that we want to achieve, and the things that we want to have at the end of the year. So, but normally problem there is some complications in normal stages whereby people struggle with the applications, people struggle with setting up their businesses, people struggle in terms of having the movement in their own individual lives. So I don't know what's your take, generally. So what causes that?
Hey, man. I would say it's fear. Yeah. Most people have fear in life of getting somewhere. The negativity around us.
Yeah.
It's what kills the spark. You know, everyone start dreaming when they start, and when time goes on, they give up. Some people even they no longer dream.
Yeah.
They say they will go with that
Eish,
flow.
man.
And to have a dream, it's important because it shows that you are alive, man.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
need to keep on dreaming.
Yeah. I don't know, Fifi, all about you.
Yeah, I can say it's a bit hard. It's a bit hard. You know, this thing, some of the New Year resolution,
Yeah.
it's everybody has it, ne?
Yeah.
But sometimes it becomes impossible because of circumstances. Yo, it's not like the dream is dead as such, but
Okay.
it's that you do want the dream to come true, but the circumstances around you are the ones which are kind of like preventing it.
Such as which circumstances, or maybe based on maybe the resolutions that you think you might have accomplished at the end of the year, or at the end of the term that you have set for yourselves. Kids are feeling long. Sometimes they become difficult, even though about you can't. You know, because I think maybe some of the steps it's a problem in us in setting the resolutions. It is because of we set the goals that we want to achieve normally, but we don't have a way forward, like the step by step on how are we going
Plan.
to
We don't
reach.
have a plan, yeah.
We don't have a plan on how are we going to reach those goals.
Yeah.
You know, because we're just thinking or maybe Kiboni new guy I intend to so I want to achieve like this, then learn na seke batla ho e etsa yaka. So that is some of the problems say it's a lot of maybe not in my accordance re face on also.
Yes, but I think the laziness that we have actually of taking charge of ourselves. You know, if you start giving up,
Yeah.
it becomes a negative thought that will affect you to achieve whatever on a plan in life. You know, simple thing. Most will say they got an issue with finance.
Yeah.
To start a simple thing, to open a quarter shop or to just bake and go and sell the kuku the kone.
Yeah.
It's those kind of things that they affect the negativity. And the other one, simple, who apply for MCBT, it's become a challenge
Yeah.
to most youth, and we tend to give up. And if you are persistent with what you want to achieve, keep on knocking. One day the door will open.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you, but sometimes there are difficulties whereby you have applied maybe on, let's say, 5 occasions consecutively, and sometimes you end up not having the finances to boost your applications in terms of doing those copies for the CVs, for traveling and stuff like that. And if out of 5 there hasn't been even one response, even if it can be a decline or a response of saying just you are invited to an interview, that gives you some morality. So what happens then? Because now you have applied to these 5 companies, or you have applied to these 5 institutions, and you have been trying yourself. At some point you even okadime chelete ho fifi or ho share or whoever, and at some point there are dintho di kopana.
It's simple, man. It's simple, and maybe people will say I'm speaking from the comfortable place.
Yeah.
You are a soldier. You are born with a certain skill, and if you tell yourself I'm gonna do whatever it takes, you can do a simple thing. Wash someone's car, do a garden, do a trophy. There's a whole lot more to make money. And if you put your heart into everything, hence I'm saying you're a soldier, you need to have a plan A, B, C, D. If one fails, put another plan. You need to keep on moving. We need to keep on moving. That's when we can achieve.
The Fofoza wa re njalo.
Ke
Thotse fela njalo. So wena plan tsa o ke islemons.
na di-plans le mo senana mare
But skela like oba ke into wa tlang fitlela.
ko ke batla fela ho ba lawyer.
Wa tla wa lawyer. Then o pass.
A ntse ke le jwalo.
On solo jwalo. O jwang skela sa lo fitlile skela like o jwang se qadile ka study ya bo etsala.
Se re qadile ntse ba re fa di-homework tse ngata fela tse sa fele.
Alebeletse ka di
Yeah,
hume.
I did.
Ke etsa di-homework.
But the challenge you know.
Yeah, ntse ntse ka di thatafalla di o phazamisa skela da.
So
Adi
bad.
Ntho wa
Mare thanks
Majita ntong a hlang le bollong a ba o phazamisa.
Ba mphazamise.
O dila jwang le ka bona mfethu.
Ke na le batho ba nkatile.
So you think subject to ratang o bonang ra e ya nthabisa
Ite
ke
ke D2 ke Sotho le English.
okay.
That's good.
Oh, yeah. And speaking of Sotho and English, there's something that I've detected, especially when we were issuing some of the matric results. People are struggling with Sesotho more than English.
Yeah.
people are struggling like too much, and I think not only Sesotho with English, but in most cases the stats shows that our indigenous languages,
Are fading away.
we are struggling with our indigenous languages, but we know too much about English, and they are still the applications are still the same. The only thing is the language. So I don't know, and sometimes we are fighting for this decolonized education and using our own indigenous languages, but we are struggling with our indigenous language. I don't know if you what could be causing that.
Yo. Yeah, I also struggle with my own language. I won't lie. A lot of people reprimand me on this one.
Yeah,
I can't speak Sotho well. And I can Sotho. You understand?
yeah.
So, Linda Kabatla but the struggle is there. I think it's because I'm not giving myself time to learn the language. That's where my mistake is.
But
I'm more interested Sekgoeng.
How do you
Really?
communicate on daily basis on your household?
Yo.
What's
That's a
for
miss
the
masala. O bua Sotho le Sekgowa ka nako e one. Lebitso la I ke kgone we communicate hantle Sotho. And happy ke ntho ya hore ke badile Sezulu sekolong tse ke le Mosotho,
Kana
understand?
ke na Shona.
Yes, ke le Shandu.
But so
And
Shandu is
I
not
did
Xhosa.
Zulu.
Zulu.
We did Zulu, Xhosa, and Sotho there.
Mix.
Eh, 3 of them they were there. So
When I chose Zulu.
I did Zulu because from I was in Monde primary school Shongweni back then. So I was studying Zulu there.
Primary school no longer.
Eshongweni in
East Rand.
by Road Depot, yeah, East Rand.
Oh.
So I was studying isiZulu. So it has been like that. Even friends, Ibe Ababa Zulu Maxhosa. So yeah.
Plus, I've been reprimanding you from varsity. Hey, o go tlo o butle ka Zulu se sa hao se. Hai.
I would say motho kaofela ba nshouta Sotho sa ka ha se hantle. Ai. Mara he ya bontsha hore it's a matter of choice. People choose hore ke fin language they prefer to speak and which language they want to learn. So if you batla ho tseba language, you will learn it. That's how it is.
Small when I was out majwang to Sotho.
a ke tsamaya shapo e yo ntho e ntlolang
I want to
Ah.
I want to
That way, I love that.
Tlamile.
O tlo rutana. O tlo rutana.
tshwantsho ena a se practice tshwantsho ba mo rute ena so lena a ithute
Clar.
Boy. Clar.
Ah, o bua nnete mo.
Clar. Vivi, advice from a young man. You was practice.
That's it.
So I don't know, guys. We have spoken about as individuals, what could be causing a hiccup in terms of our own measurable success. As individuals and achieve the goals that we set on. But one of the things, fear, but also demoralization, in terms of they have been doing this, they have been motivated at the beginning of the year,
Yeah.
they have been setting those goals over maybe the years, over the 5 years or something.
Yeah.
Nothing is coming at bay. Nothing is coming at bay. Like, there's no hope. People have lost hope, But I think it also goes to what we have said, we can do so much. You can wash the cars, you can sew the clothing, you can
Open a
do garden,
shop,
open
some-
new store. If you have the financial muscle to
Yeah.
start, you don't need huge cash or funding along big. But I think those are the things still, and sometimes they are demoralized because our hope is on other people's businesses, like hoping for Shoprite to employ you, hoping for the school to employ you, even though you have those skills. And the very same thing, you can do it yourself. So now, practically so, how can that happen? How can one motadutsing on the couch are demoralized and say, now today gets something, I'm taking an action towards the goal from the discomfort the place demoralization. from that moment, how can that person I and say, let me start taking charge?
Uh, uh, I'll say, man, ko you need to be associated le batho be loreng ba sharp. There are groups, there are NGOs, there are a lot of things that still loreng di ka fana ka motivation.
Yeah.
And lately now we've seen there's a podcast.
Yeah.
We need to really replace podcast. I mean Netflix with podcast.
Yeah.
So correct. We need to make some changes.
Yeah,
Where we'll
yeah.
get
We
motivation.
need to work with places of growth.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what we can go for.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. Because lately I've seen myself. It's been a while since I've watched TV, ne? And lately I've been streaming the variety of podcasts, and you tend to have much of a learning and education and knowledge that is growing within you as an individual. So yeah, I think that could be the way. That could be the way. Fifi,
I totally agree with what you guys say.
yeah,
Focus on the things that bring growth. bophelong ba hao.
yeah,
Like tsona, okay, not everyone o kgona ho accessa dintho tse tsa di-podcast.
yeah,
Find a group of people that you can engage with. Find people who are doing something e alignang le ntho e batlang, kapa people who are successful or making it in life based on whatever ba etsang. Don't, sometimes you must not look for, maybe let's say ke batla a man who's wearing a suit who works in a business hore ke be ke fitlele moo. Sometimes you can work and ask someone a rekisang dikota kapa a etsang some sort of business. At least it's something that is moving them towards whatever goal e ba atena. Ask them, how are they doing it? You understand? How are you doing it? Sometimes my ele amutho a etsang ntho jwalo, it might bring you to a point where, okay, this is what I've not been doing, and let me start doing things in a different way
There's
in
a
order to
story
achieve.
behind, yeah.
Yes, there's a story behind in order to achieve what I am looking for. You understand? So I think sometimes you have to put ourselves in that position.
all right.
Yeah.
Small. We're not going to before go local o ka reng o di game changers hore ba ka kgona ho iketsetsa jwang ba ipushe jwang bona hore ba fitlhelle ntse ba batlang ho di fitlhella.
a ba sa kgone ho di fitlhella a ke re tshwantsho ba itjwetse hore ena ntho nka e fitlhella e seng a nyahame fela a itjwetse hore ntho ena yona ke no e fitlhella tshwantsho ba itjwetse hore ena ke a e fitlhella ntho
Ne? No. Mfethu.
Thank you, Galabo.
Sharpness, small.
Yeah,
But over one next time when the next episode day.
Yes.
Ne, o sharp
Yeah,
small. So guys, one of the things that I think are the contributing factors into this high youth unemployment and high youth discouragement, I think one of the impacts is the economic growth that we find ourselves into as South Africans. So I don't know, maybe I might be wrong, but I don't know what's your take in terms of that, because I think our economy is being threatened time and again, over and over and again, especially with this regards to the ESCOM issue as well, killing those small businesses. As you have seen in Sowetan, they've released some of the businesses, small businesses that are malfunctioning due to the load shedding. So I don't know about, is the economic crisis or is the economic impact has the impact on the crisis, the economic growth I wanted to say. So is the economic growth has the impact on our economic crisis that we face in South Africa? New guy.
Hey man. Yeah. It's very difficult to carry it,
Yeah.
honestly. It's very, very difficult for most people, man. I saw the other guy on his farm, shepherding the chicken.
Oh yeah.
So most chicken were dead, and apparently now there will be a huge problem on chickens. We're gonna increase price because we're gonna struggle with them actually because they need electricity to breathe. They need electricity for for the temperature control.
Yeah, I also hear that the price of the chicken might be even overboard over that one of the
It's
beef.
going there. Yeah, it's going there. Man. So it's a huge strike, man. By Eskom, we are liar, honestly.
Too much. T.
First of all, I just want to let you greet Game Changers. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Happy 2023, guys. It's been an awesome year last year.
Too much.
We had too many
Too much.
challenges. Also in terms of shooting due to this goddamn as load shedding.
Yeah.
Every man, I don't want to lie, man. In terms of where we are as a country, I'm just gonna say we are fucked, guys, man. You know, and for me, in terms of how I think, in terms of the load shading, it's a very sensitive topic that has too many aspects, and also it's self-contradicting in too many ways.
Okay.
You know?
In what sense?
Because back in when Jacob Zuma was still the president, he needed, I think, about 1 trillion actually for him to get into the nuclear deal that was supposed to happen.
Yeah.
And it's not even 10 years later, but today the same private government that told us that the 1 trillion is going to cripple the country's economy, we were told that today Eskom needs about 6 trillion for it to be fixed, you know. So in the midst, in terms of the monopoly which the government is actually playing on us, you know, it's the country that suffers, you know. And the problem is it's that we have people in place who don't want to fucking retire. Like literally, like for real. This morning on Twitter, there's a president, I forgot which country it is. He's 89, and this goddamn nigga didn't know he was, dog. He was in the States, but he didn't know where he was, and he had to address, dog. And so we have all people that are making decisions about this country that won't be there in the next 20 years.
But what could have caused that problem of not having a succession plan, especially as a country? Because now we are talking as a country, we are talking about our philosophy, we are talking about how we run things. You know, we're talking about our domestic ways of doing things. Where did it go wrong? Whereby we have to carry the baton, and when your time is done, lend another person a baton? Because I think it is only President Mandela, who only seated once because he saw that he can't take the second term because he was old. Not that he was incapable of doing things, but he saw that there's the time now to give the other person who's younger than him a baton.
That nigga wanted to enjoy his millions in
They
peace
had a
that before
top
he
6
could die.
recently, ne?
Top 6, yes.
ANC. Funny enough, they regard Mbalula as a youth. Honestly, man, you know, one guy was asked, I was watching the other show yesterday, was asked why ANC doesn't have youth league. He said we have produced, we have them. There's Mbalula and the
Mbalula.
yes.
So he's a
Mbalula.
youngster, wasn't that kind of thing?
So it was what
His
the
answer was that this guy come from a youth league. You see, so they are stupid. They found that because they think if they had someone who was used to be in youth, there's a generational plan for them. I don't know, man.
So it means this philosophy comes from ANC.
Claro.
Because it means you have to graduate from youth league. Then when you are 57, that's where you can get a ministerial position.
But guys, what do you think about the national shutdown that's actually happening? Who's this guy? The guy that got drunk, man. The yellow bone guy that got drunk last year. The spokesperson Pule, was it Pule?
Pule Mavi.
Mavi. Yeah, Pule Mavi literally during the week he was on News 4-2 whatever. 4-5 saying that the ANC are calling for a fucking national shutdown due to load shedding. You know? So I mean, dude, how does Eskom fucking run at laws whereas there's no any other computer for it, dog?
I don't.
How does it like literally? What do you guys think about the national shutdown that's going to be happening?
I don't think national shutdown is it's ANC's prerogative or it has been established by ANC. They saw people saying they're gonna do national shutdown, and they are trying to hijack. And people have been clear that we are not going to allow any political parties or affiliates to hijack these marches. I think Thandiswa Mazwai and Ntsiki Mazwai
don't speak
also
about those people, dog.
will be having their own march on the 2nd. The national shutdown will follow on the 9th of February. So I don't know, man, but national shutdown, I think on our memorandums, from my point of view, on our memorandums, we should list those things that we want to be fixed. But also, in so doing, give or lash out some of the solutions to those problems that we have, proposed solutions to those problems that we have listed on our memorandums. Because by just saying, it won't solve any problem, because politicians are going to tell what you want to hear, and it's gonna be a luta continua with the ESCOM issue. That's my take. I don't know, Fifi.
Yeah.
And the looting value will continue.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The looting of June 16 or June.
Then it looks as if whatever that it's been said by politicians, it's not implemented. Reason being, talks are there. They speak, they make conferences, but for us, we don't see any kind of like movement. The load shedding thing has been there for years, for many years, but there's no change. You understand? And they said they're gonna introduce the solar thing. I think when was this? Last year, or it was early?
Useless.
Yeah, it was last year. It was said it was gonna be introduced, the solar thing, but
No,
before the
apparently, I
solar there was a
remember-
nuclear thing.
Yeah, but I remember that Ascom was saying that since that you're going to be going off the grid, they're going to be charging, I think, 750 a month or something like 900 rands.
'Cause they
for going
wanted
off
to
the
take
grid.
over.
And which is fucking useless. How the fuck would I be paying for Eskom? I buy electricity every month, but at the end of the day, I'm not getting the saves that I actually paid for. And then when I go off the grid, I still have to pay for going off the grid. Does that make sense?
It doesn't.
It doesn't make sense, man. But then, are you paying electricity?
Does it make sense?
But it's so painful to see somebody paying electricity. Then they also still experience the same load shedding.
Yeah, and by the way, guys, speaking of load shedding, Majida, I noticed all men from the 13th of Feb up until the 15th, we are all invited to a 3 days meeting to pray for load shedding, guys. So I urge all men.
It's a main conference.
It's not a men's conference, it's a prayer session.
It's a prayer session.
That
Why
when we
all
pray
men?
for, yeah?
Why all men?
Because of Lord has actually needs men on this crisis, needs men's prayers.
But guys, speaking of prayers and stuff like that, I don't think to a certain extent it works. The reason why I'm saying that, we are at the bottom in terms of the finances, in terms of the GDP, in terms of the modern economy.
Yeah.
We are at the bottom as Africa. But the people who are praying the most, more than any other people in the world,
Doesn't
the
work,
continent, it's from Africa. We are praying like nobody business, and we never even initiated. This is not our this Christianity thing. It's not even our it's not our indigenous religious belief. We inherited it from the West.
The main
You know,
job,
so. But we are so much into belief, and by the time we are still praying and closing our eyes, the West are still taking our mineral resources and taking them back to their continent. So we have to limit our own prayers. Let's pray for 5 minutes and let's do work for the remaining hours in a day. So this thing of praying and having and cross-nighting while people are still working and taking our mineral resources outside our borders, it's nonsensical. It's nonsensical. So this thing of prayer or something, it won't help. We'll still have load shedding next year.
And mashallah, yeah, Tamo.
Man, here's the thing. I was going to ask you this. Okay, Joe Biden can be able to have a conference on Davos and explain on the World Economic Forum to say we are going to fund Africa and specifically South Africa, to get off the creed of the coal usage and go to renewable energy, while they are stocking piles with the Westerns to take those coals and use them in their own spaces to light up their cities. How nonsensical, how
That's fucked
ironic
up,
is that?
That's yazi ngilokhu senzeni boy. Mina ngithi sikhuluma ne-cupcakes, yabo? Cupcakes imtshela ukuthi boy asinikeze inkomo ezi5. Basigeze. Yabo, we get the best inyanga. Sithola impepho sashisa. Siba mnandi kawo. Yabo, but for me man, like truly speaking, I actually heard that apparently the US they paid about $8 billion.
Yes.
So it might happen that the billions that were actually stored at the Pala might be some of his cash in. Allegedly. Let me put myself on that. But come think of it, the president had billions of stash in the house, and then the scandal that comes out saying that Joe Biden paid Cupcakes 8 billion rands actually for South Africa to go off the grid, and in the meanwhile, Europe and the US, they're the ones that came with this solar energy tapping green renewable energy, saying that now it's going to be good and whatever. And I remember that there's also some few motorist companies that have actually signed into the pledge in terms of going eco-friendly, such as I know that Volvo starting from, well, in other countries, but you know that in South Africa we're always late, but starting from next year, Volvo will not be selling any cars that post petrol. All of them are going to be electronically charged. So usayithatha kanjani ke lo shading ngekho ntwana?
Yo.
But
Good question.
I think one of the things still from the business perspective, I think Volvo doesn't want to be part of the South African market, because South African market it's cruel, guys. If you are in the motor vehicle business, be aware of the South African market. The champions of South African market are the VW, Mercedes-Benz, and the BMWs of this world, because they know and they understand that we are people of style and we are very economical. So if you don't want to say that Volvo is on the charge, Volvo. O tla ipalama Volvo. You will ride yourself. Ask Ronald, Henrifa, and Tata. And ask even Kia, Kabut Picanto. They were giving us this ugly models. Ugly models started these cars. And did we bought them? No.
Imagine.
We are still going for BMW, we are still going for VW, we are still going for Mercedes-Benz, because they understand us, they understand that we are people of style. So we don't care about Volvo. If it was BMW or if it was VW,
also,
I was going to.
It's also going the same direction.
But they are not saying we're gonna implement it in South Africa. Yes.
But the thing is, they're going into autonomous motor industry, with self-driving cars, technology, and whatever that bullshit.
But
but think of it, ne? Imagine how many excuses you get away free with being late and say, boss, low shading, I didn't charge my car. I could turn up petrol, so he knows it's a problem for all of us. It's been low shading cheap. My car was not charging, my phone wasn't charging, so I can't
come to work.
So literally, I can't be doing anything.
Yeah.
But literally, I would still actually like to hear Fifi's view in terms of the national shutdown. I've heard Mahapi in terms of what he actually thinks about it. I still need to actually hear from you.
Yeah, man. I don't know, man. Whether it will work or not.
Do you think it's going to be having an impact in terms of what we're fighting for?
No, there's a serious crisis like this in ESCOM. Even now, they have asked for finances. Then the Minister of Finance said he's not going to give them anything. So the problem is going to start with us, I don't know for how long. But then they are predicting until 2030, I think. So I don't think it will work anyway, man. Yeah.
But jokes aside, yeah.
So the only one thing I think we should do, solve our pride, man, and ask Russia for those nuclears.
I don't think it will happen, because it's unfortunately unless we remove like the Sri Lankans we remove our leaders and we put our own leaders there, because I think the problem now.
It can work, Mkerele.
But-
Currently, there's a what here practicing here in our shows. So I think during that time, the soldier can say, "Amen, please, man."
Yeah, let's have a coup with the soldiers,
Yeah,
you know, and remove these people,
China
because
is here,
Yeah.
Russia is here, and
BRICS,
us.
man, is brilliant, my man. BRICS, we are in the safe space with the BRICS. The only thing is that our own president, I don't think has a great relationship in terms of the BRICS. The previous, his predecessor was the one who was, who even invented the BRICS. But the problem is one. I think maybe this has been happening because remember the engineers from ESCOM, they produced a documented, informed piece that informed ESCOM that by 2007, if you don't do 1, 2, 3, 4, you are going to start experiencing load shedding.
Yeah.
And indeed, the first load shedding started in 2007. So we have been ignoring those things. Then came the tenure of President Zuma as well. They warned, and the solution was nuclear. And on the nuclear issue, then came the so many reasons on why nuclear is bad. And now we are so enlightened to see that was just a myth. And that was only political based so that people can gain
That's
the
the problem with the matches, man.
Yeah.
Labo gogo, labo campaign about Zuma must fall. Ba people, are they not suffering from load shedding? Ba people.
No, for me, I don't care about Zuma, I don't care about Ramaphosa, I don't care about who.
But right now
the thing
in
is that
crisis.
from Mandela's tenure to Mbeki's tenure to Jacob Zuma's tenure as well as Ramaphosa, they are all being warned, and nothing was taken into action. Zuma wanted to act as he was going out, and he was fading out because also the pressure was on his neck. And those things that he should have started implementing when he first became president, he ignored those issues that he should have tackled at the first time. He was a statesman.
Yeah, he should have done that. He
Bravo.
failed too, man.
He's guilty as well. So there's no one who's not guilty in this presidency thing. I think we lack people who have balls, such as Christiani. Hence we are still talking about him up until this date, because they said no land or nothing. We rather be killed than negotiate any otherwise. They never compromised anything. They said we never compromise anything or we become compromised, and indeed they were compromised. That's what that was unfortunate. But one other thing I want us to go back to is that, are we really thinkers as South Africans? Do we really have those balls to do things on our own? To say, okay, it's fine, you don't want to fix ESCOM. Can we do our own creed? And can we also hijack those equipments or the cable channels tse deliverang tse transferang energy or the volts tsa electricity, to say this going to the state? So who is the state? They say state ke rona ke re. We are the government. So we are taking things on our own because the people we chose to administer our own finances ba hloleha. So can we also do our own thing, our own beat?
The people shall govern.
Exactly.
That's what it's in the charter, babe.
But you know,
Nah, it's not
you know
like
what we
that.
need, nah? Jokes aside, apart from those cows, but sustaining about the cupcakes. What I actually think in terms of the only way to fix this country, it is to redo what the ANC youth did back to overthrow the apartheid government. The old youth, they understood one thing, but they had one mission actually to fight over. You know? So if, as today's youth, could actually come together, then to go to EFF, ANC, they must come to a fucking end. Because at the end of the day, as much as Organize, PAC, we're still suffering from the same thing, which is crime, unemployment, low shading. You know. So if we could be able just to come together for one mission and say that these things of having political parties and too many, it's unnecessary, it's uncalled for, even though it's our constitutional rights anyone to have a political party, But some of these political parties, they're not actually doing nothing, you know, to be honest, you know. And in order for the ANC to be trusted, they have to actually be giving us hope and actually getting rid of the ministers that are actually useless. You know, for example, look at the Minister of Defense. That woman, she knows nothing. She's never been a soldier, dog. But she's busy cutting budgets. She's busy cutting budgets. Did you see the Minister of kind of what's sports and recreation? That woman knows nothing about art, dog. You know, so the only way for us to actually to grow also the GDP, we must be having people that have actually been in sports industry, such as your Robert Mara or your Trevor Noah. We bring them. They're the ones supposed to be actually be advisory to the cabinet ministry in terms of how can we actually secure the industry in terms of making sure none of our artists they go hungry, you know. So there was a piece that was actually signed, a ledger that was given to the president was supposed to sign in terms of protecting actors from getting their own royalties. Just like Baba Wani was as far as Cherwani, he posted a video of himself saying that he's broke. You know, but then at the same time, DSTV and SABC Enco, they're in partnership. There's money that has been exchanged. Mzunezin is still fucking playing on DSTV. So what happens to the royalties? Why is he not getting his money? So we should have such legislation in terms of changing from the artists. You know, we're going toward education. In order for us to fucking fix this country, you gotta change the mindset of people, starting with the educational sector. Our education system has not been upgraded for the last fucking 30 years.
For me, I don't think we need legislation. Because it's fucking useless. Because we have been, if you can check our legislation, we have a top-notch legislation, but it's fucking useless because we don't even implement those things. And I think another thing we need to change, is to not to dwell on that approach, the youth about 1960 and stuff, because that was a liberation struggle. And now we are liberated. The model has to change. We are now have to be thinkers. We now have to be modernized. We now have to be thinkers of growing our own economy, not to liberate anyone. We are liberated. So the approach has to be different. We need to start growing our own economy and to say there's no mineral resource that is going to go out without benefiting the people of this continent, without benefiting the people of this country. But before we can even close, starting with you, new guy, what could be the advice on the youth on how we can emancipate or build ourselves in ensuring that with or without government we can do things on our own?
Let me support that, guys. Whatever man, if I'm selling something, there right there in the corner, please leave some coin for me. You know, the other thing, we need to be aware and survey these foreign people, man, taking a lot of markets. So if we're gonna sleep on that, we'll be in trouble. We cannot rely on government.
Exactly.
They are far from their government, man. And they are doing great here in our country. So why can't we learn from them if we have to, or so that we can develop ourselves, guys. That's the only one, man.
T, what could be the advice that you can give a young man of South Africa or of Africa to say, with or without government, you can still make it?
There's a lot, actually. Self-discovery. That's one of the most important things.
But what is the process on that? How do you discover yourself as an individual?
As an individual, you need to be able to spend time with yourself. It's not everyone is able to do that, but due to circumstances, as you grow, it forces you to be in that position. You know? And one of the things that I actually said, in order for us to change the youth, the game and whatsoever, what's needed is the I
know.
But again, we need to make sure that our young brothers and sisters, they are way much more educated. And in terms of education is abroad. There's financial, there's agricultural, so it's abroad, literally, you know. So hence I'm saying that people should only learn to look learn their own interest. Self-discovery, it's the most important thing. You know, read, Go out and have fun. Don't limit yourself in terms of being fearful. Fear is actually a great thing actually to have, but at the same time, you need to have a fucking moment and just live life every day as it comes. Try out. You'll find out whatever that actually works out for you. Keep on trying whatever that you're actually working on. Don't give up.
Yeah. No, that's profound, Fifi.
Both of the guys, they just said the valid points. That's how it is. Yeah, to young people out there, sometimes there's this thing. Sometimes you have to start somewhere. You might have a dream, or you might want to accomplish a certain thing in order to better your life. So sometimes you have to start with some things that you actually don't enjoy. Maybe do a work that you never studied for instance, or maybe you never even got educated. You can even do something that will kind of like grow you, something that you will kind of like benefit from it in order to obtain those things that you want to achieve. So it's never the end of the world.
Yeah.
As long as you're still alive, you still have breath.
Exactly.
You have to
There's
try
opportunity,
something.
man.
Yes, there's an
Yeah.
opportunity. There are many opportunities that present themselves. So sometimes we look for certain things, like specifically, and be like, nah, I'm going to follow this. If this
Career
is not
path,
the thing,
yeah.
yes. If this thing is not working, I'm not interested into trying other things, and that's where you get it wrong. Sometimes the career path that you might follow might not be the something that you were actually born for,
builds
or
you.
something you were supposed to be. So start somewhere in order to know the direction that you're gonna take. Because sometimes when you start with something that you don't want, that's where your growth starts. That's where you get to learn, and that's where you get to discover who you really are and what impact you will bring onto the country,
And also just to
or into the world in general. You
just to
understand?
add what you just said, man. I just want to give a little bit of advice to the matriculants. For those who are still confused in terms of which subject to take, the pressure, the anxiety that they actually be having.
Yeah.
It's okay for you to take a gap year. There's nothing wrong in terms of taking gap year, because
Yeah.
that's going to give you time actually for you to grow and discover yourself in terms of what kind of a person you are, what kind of a job that you can be
Yeah.
able to handle. Because of one of the reasons why we have an unemployment rate, it's not like there isn't any job. The jobs are there. The problem is that people have taken careers or diplomas in an industry where they have no interest in it. We have people that just got graduated last year. They're working in finance. They're working in big companies, incorporated. Because of why? They knew exactly what they wanted to do. They built up connections. So that's my advice, saying that it's okay for you to take a gap year, socialize, and get to know people.
Yeah.
Because of when you actually do that, you get to discover more about yourself in terms of you like
You grow
engaging.
with
So that means,
maturity, man.
And
so
also,
that means
yeah.
if you like engaging with people, it allows you to be in the entertainment industry. So it's gonna give you that allowance in terms of self-discovery.
And also, this is another thing. There are a lot of people working in retail and different kind of jobs, which some others did not study for. You understand? There's always something you learn in any space that you find yourself in. Like for instance, the podcast that we are doing. Some of us, we didn't do communications. We didn't know nothing about communications. We didn't do any studies there. In order for a person to develop a skill, you equip yourself with whatever that is presented before you. You equip yourself, and then that grows you, and you end up finding that you are much capable than what you thought you could be. You understand? Because you sometimes, when you align yourself into certain things, thinking those are the right things for you, that's where you get it wrong. Try to see what can work with what I have now, or what is able to come into my table. Then that's when you will know definitely that, you know what, I'm good with this. I was quite wrong to think that I would have been good at that position. You understand?
So if you don't take that gap year, o tshwara bo uswa ma-Shoprite ba matenile nkare batho ba bayang nkare ba getla nkare o na le sorry nkare o na le team tininyana da. Oh guys, this is how we fuck around
No,
customers.
that thing maybe sometimes it may be frustration.
You'll be,
of
but
working
exactly.
with
But if you
customers
love
on
your
daily
job,
basis.
but if you look at nurses, there are some nurses that, regardless of their profession in the last 20 years, they have always been the most nicest nurse that you could ever find. But then you have horrible nurses because they took jobs because of there was no any other job for them to take, and then you hands on, you have fucked up policemen, nurses.
Mara,
But also, I think on that, guys, some frustration, especially most in the retails, if you can check nowadays on retails, the people who are occupying those positions on retail, that is not actually their careers. So it could be some of the frustrations that they have because they have studied a certain industry of interest, but they can't even get there. But in order for them to say we want to survive, because we have fear of not having money and to create our own wealth, that's where they end up being there and they become frustrated. But also I think the things that Fifi have touched to, they are very important, and it speaks to our growth or how we are being developed as people of South Africa, because it starts here, this thing. Ngwana how okopa for soccer boots, ask for soccer boots today. Tomorrow he or she asks for tennis racket. Tomorrow he asks for karate gear, and you keep on complaining. No, that's how you discover yourself. That's how you discover yourselves. And once you become at the developed stage, that will come in hand. But by so saying, I'm saying as well to the matriculants as well, do as much as possible. Go to much places of interest and do as much as possible as you can, so that you can be able to see which career area that you have developed interest into, and that's where you can grow yourself into, so that you don't do your job being bored, So by so saying, I'm saying, guys, do your bit, do your best, and always never give up. Change the mindset and change the game. I'm your host, Mhabim Gerata, probably known as the Prof, and I'm not alone. I'm starting to become a remarkable personage. I thank you all. Bye bye.
You, hey, yeah. You. Boy, guys, let me my graduate, boy, guys, let